Welcome in, everybody. A few minutes late, but that's okay. It is Tuesday night, which means one thing and one thing only. It is the Tuesday night, the Fantasy Cheat Sheet, presented by Going for Two Network on YouTube, Twitch. Go like, subscribe. We're going to be talking coaching changes. I'll introduce the boys in a minute, but before that, let's hit the intro, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, welcome back to the Fantasy Cheat Sheet. That was our little 15-second break. Jamie, Reggie, what is up, my guys? How are you guys doing this evening?
Doing pretty good, man. Excited to talk some football tonight.
We're doing fantastic. We're closer to football.
Oh yeah, 72 days away till opening kickoff. Quick question for you, Reggie. This has nothing to do with football. How hot is it up there where you're at right now? Because we're getting a heat wave down here.
It's nice. Last weekend was uncomfortable. We made a home fan air conditioner, like big jugs of water frozen. We sit in front of the fans. We maintain it. The worst has yet to come.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Last week was definitely unenjoyable. All right, let's get into it. Tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about coaching changes, and there is a little bit of a game at the end, and I am the only one that knows about the game, so I know I got Jamie scared a little bit earlier when I mentioned it. So let's get straight into it. The news, there's only been a couple things I want to bring up. First off, Brandon Ayuk wants out, doesn't want out. Then he gets caught on TikTok video talking to Jalen Daniels, his former teammate at Arizona State, saying that they don't want me anymore. Then the 49ers came out and said that this is hullabaloo and they still want him. And now even today came out and it was like, no, they still want to trade me. Jamie, big news, little news. Where does he play week 1 in 2024?
I still think he plays in San Fran week 1. This is just a whole bunch of smoke and mirrors. There's nothing else going on in the league, so they're just trying to create something for us to talk about.
Yeah, Reggie, what do you think?
I think something actually came of this. I don't know how true this is. I need to confirm this. But if y'all remember last year, Saquon Barkley, came up with a real upset with his franchise tag, and he got a little something on top. I think something happened. I heard it. I have not seen it in print, but I think they came close, and he's staying a Niner this year.
Something's telling me that that's not the truth, but the more and more, the longer it goes, the longer it goes, the more I think it could happen. I think if they're going to let one of them walk, and I mean one of them by Debo and Ayuk, I think the one that needs to go, surprisingly, is Debo, not Ayuk, because of the age, the money that he's already getting. Yeah, Ayuk deserves another deal. But I will say this, and I was told, Jamie, you already know by who. I don't need to say names. I will say this from the deepest depths of my gut. I don't care where he goes. I truly believe that he's not going to be a Washington Commander. Like, I know that everyone's talking, he's going to go to Washington because of the Jaden Daniels thing and the video and all this and the connection. No, he is not going there. A team that scares me that he could end up on if something wacky happens made some news this week as well. That piece of news is Ramondre Stevenson got paid $17 million guarantee. They brought in Antonio Gibson of the Washington Commanders. So people were curious what was going to happen with his dynasty value and stuff like that. So Reggie, I'm going to hit you first. What do you think, just real football, not dynasty, real football, what does this do for the Patriots and what does this do for Ramondre's future?
I think he is a pillar in that locker room. This is not something that they are known for doing. They do not pay their running backs. Name the last running back. They actually gave some money. I think this is a good thing for the Patriots. I think he's going to do well. I have And that's just my real football take. I'll leave my dynasty take out. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. Jamie, what is your football take? What do you think about this? We'll get into dynasty in a little bit when we talk in the show sheet.
Football take. We've talked about Stevenson the past couple weeks. He was one of my sleepers. Now he's not going to be a sleeper anymore. People are going to see this, that he got paid. They're going to raise him up a couple rounds. But for real football, I think it's awesome. We're going to see probably that 70 to 75% of his carries. Just like I predicted, like he did in 2022.
Exactly. All right. So the show sheet for tonight, we're talking coaching changes that affect fantasy football, and it could be a negative, it could be a positive, it could be a combination. So, Jamie, I was not expecting this guy to be on the show sheet, I'll be honest. But the more and more I thought about it, of course you're going to talk about your damn stupid elves. Browns. So, Jamie, why don't you talk about what coach and what position he got hired to? Take it away, my man.
Yeah, Ken Dorsey. He's actually a former Browns quarterback. He got hired as the OC last year. I believe he got fired at week 10 from the Bills.
Yep.
They blamed him for all the turnovers that Josh Allen was throwing. But in 2022, the Bills, I believe, ranked like first or second in points and yards. So I think this is going to be great for Deshaun Watson. I heard it's going to be a similar offense that he ran under Bill O'Brien back in Houston. So that's going to help him. And say it doesn't work out, then they got Winston. And Winston's perfect to throw a bunch of those interceptions like Josh Allen did last year. But yeah, no, I think this takes Watson up. I know he's being drafted around quarterback 20-ish, even past that. I think he can step in and maybe be top 12 again. Who knows?
All right, Reggie, why don't you talk about this so Jamie can be quiet?
Well, I'm not sure if he played for the Canes, but Ken Dorsey was an amazing player in college. But I think
he was
went to U.
He was the U.
Yeah, and he's been in that organization for a while. It's always a good sign when they can hire and within, because he's been with Cleveland for a while, correct?
He was with them, and then he left, but he's been there before. So yeah, what you're saying still holds true.
So I like it. I think that team, if Nick Chubb didn't get injured, we would be talking about them in a different breath as far as being a contender, even if Deshaun Watson can just be a game manager. But with that being said, it's an okay thing. He's familiar. He knows how they like to operate. He's an in-house guy. He's a company man, looks like.
So the one thing I will say about this, not disagreeing with you at all, Jamie, I don't think he's going to go that high, and I'm talking about Deshaun. But do I think he's going to improve? Absolutely. Do I think he's going to finish at QB 20? Heck no. They brought in the great Jerry Jeudy. That was a joke. That was a joke. No, they got Jerry Jeudy. Amari Cooper, if you look at his numbers, performed better when he was with Deshaun as a QB. You still got David Njoku. The one thing that worries me about this team in general, and I'm not saying this because of the Ken Dorsey hire, but Jamie, me and you have actually talked about this off camera through messages or whatever, so you know exactly where I'm going with this. If Chubb doesn't come back at some point healthy, I don't know how this running game is going to sustain itself with Ford. Yes, they got Pierre Strong, but they don't have the passing catching guy like they did before.
Yep, exactly. And another thing, I think Dorsey's young enough that he could even step in on the field and throw some balls.
Okay, we're done. So we're moving from Cleveland to another AFC North team. This coach has been fired from a head coaching job. But why is it a good thing, and who are we talking about, Reggie? Because I actually agree with you.
Arthur Smith. If we take our fantasy glasses off for a second and look at this hire, like the head coach is amazing. What has he had? Tomlin has had one losing season, if that. And then you
Zero.
bring it zero. Okay. If you bring in somebody who not too long ago was a very good offensive coordinator, give him back that title. In relationships in life, sometimes you don't like the titles. I don't know if you gentlemen are married or whatnot, but I digress. That's another episode. But I think the personnel that Pittsburgh has and the combination of Arthur Smith, who wasn't Arthur Smith, a former offensive lineman,
Yes.
and that head coach, there's going to be structure. In Pittsburgh, the Steelers, that's like a hard hat town. I think they're going to mesh together really well with that culture. And the question is, will they be good for fantasy?
All
Football,
right, so,
yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to take this one first, Jamie, if you would look at the private chat real quick. I absolutely freaking love this hire. Hands down, love this hire. People were like, oh, he didn't, we'll get to his old team in a little bit, but, he didn't let his weapons succeed in Atlanta. I think he's just not meant to be a head coach. There are plenty of coaches in the NFL that are great OCs that are not meant to hold the damn clipboard or call a timeout. Yes, I'm talking to you, Mike McCarthy, when it comes to calling a timeout. However, when it comes to fantasy, like you said, you got Tomlin, so he doesn't have to be the alpha male in that locker room. He can lock himself in the offensive room, get what he needs to be done, and get it done. There was a quarterback one time who used to play wide receiver, got changed to quarterback, didn't know how he was going to do in Miami, went to Tennessee, resurrected his career, became a good quarterback once Marcus Mariota got hurt and had to be put in the limelight. Yes, I'm talking about Ryan Tannehill. Who was his OC? The Arthur Smith. He was also the OC for Derrick Henry. Yes, Derrick Henry's a talented mofo. Not saying he's not. But he was a play caller for him. He took over. When he's the OC, he is the OC. He's not a coordinator that has the head coach doing his job. So I love this. I do think it's also going to help the wideouts. I think we've all said that we all think Pickens is going to be good. I think Freiermuth is going to have a bounce back year. Arthur Smith loved to use why can't I think of his name right now? Used to play for San Francisco too. Walker, when he was in Tennessee, and then it became Jonnu before Jonnu went to Atlanta with him and all that. Jamie, what do you think about Arthur Smith now as an OC in Pitt?
Yeah, no, I like him better as OC. It's still going to be Tomlin's team, and they're going to mesh well together, I think. And in fantasy football, all the Steelers are going way later than they actually should, so there's going to be value there. Najee is going I think he's going after Stevenson even. And like maybe the 6th round, something like that. And with Arthur Smith, I want Arthur Smith's running back. I don't care who it is. Exactly. And then even just because people don't think they're going to pass the ball as much, which probably they won't, but that's leaving people like Roman Wilson and Freiermuth at a huge value for us later in rounds.
Absolutely. All right. So for mine, we are actually going to be talking about Arthur Smith's former team. Perfect segue. So Raheem Morris comes over from the Rams. But that's not who I am talking about. I am not talking about Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris was the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at one time. But I want to talk about Zach Robinson, who is the new OC. He has never been an OC yet in his career. But here's the key to me. I don't care if he's been an OC for 1, main reason. He was 4 years as a coach, several more in the NFL, but since 2019, he has had several roles since 2019, but under one locker room. So what Reggie brought up about Dorsey, even though Dorsey left and came back, like he knows spending that much time in one locker room. Those years, some of those years were with Raheem Morris, but more importantly, they were under the tutelage of Sean freaking McVay. If you're an OC, if you become an OC out of the Sean McVay tree, you got Zach Taylor of Cincinnati, head coach. You got Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. Is he a head coach? No, not yet. I'm not saying he's going to be or anything, but as an OC, if he's bringing some of the philosophies, the quick throws, the motion, all the stuff that they do, there's a reason they went and got Darnell Mooney, and there's a reason they went out and got Rondale Moore. Yes, I do believe that Rondale Moore is going to be that gadget guy, but that's what he has become in the NFL. However, the two guys that I cannot wait to see perform this year, and there is a reason they are on the cover of the thumbnail. If you haven't checked it out, go check out the thumbnail. It is Drake London and Bijan Robinson, because he's going to throw the ball out of the backfield, and he's going to get the ball to the main outside weapon. He'll use Pitts as a decoy sometimes. Yes, Pitts is going to get his due, but London and Bijan are the ones that are going to benefit the most. In 2023, Atlanta passed the ball 52.2% and ran the ball 57.8%. They're projected this year, according to Draft Sharks, to pass the ball 57.5%, which is a step up. LA used 3 wide receiver sets last year, 90.3% of the time. The league average, can you guess what the league average is, Jamie? In 3 wide receiver sets, if they ran 90%.
League average probably 65, 70.
What if I said it was 60?
Oh, geez. Yeah.
So they ran it 30% more. So what do you think about this situation in Atlanta now?
Yeah, I mean, they could even use Pitts as a wide receiver in those sets.
They will.
So, yeah. I mean, they did last year. They didn't use them properly last year. But yeah, Bijan, I'm excited about Bijan. I think he could be the number 1 overall running back this year in that offense. London, I've actually moved him up. I don't have it offhand, but I'm pretty sure he's like 7th or 8th wide receiver off the board for me.
Yeah, you got him higher than I do, but I do have him. A lot of people have him in between 12 and 16. I do have him in my top 12. You just have him a little bit higher than
I do. I'm trying to put him in my top 10. So, but yeah, no, I'm excited for all these weapons in that offense.
Reggie, what do you think about Atlanta now?
I think Atlanta is becoming somewhere I got to stay away from in Dynasty, because I have a lot of shares I've bought in, and the market changes, and the price for London has gotten to a point where I see us drafting at his ceiling. So I have to shift to maybe getting some more Kyle Pitts now, but he's starting to rise. I want the cheapest part. And unless it's Bijan, there's some Mooney love I'm starting to get now, because he's one of the less expensive ones. But I just have too much of that offense at this point, and it's just the price keep rising. So I got to move with the market and what I have.
Yeah, I think Mooney's still being slept on a lot.
Yeah.
You get him in like double-digit rounds way late.
Yeah. Way late. Mm-hmm. All right, so Raheem Morris is coming from LA to Atlanta.
Oh, one weird thing.
Yeah.
Mooney right now today makes more than Brandon Ayuk. Mooney got a nice contract.
Yeah, he did.
All right.
I saw someone post that on an Ayuk like rant.
That's cold.
So Raheem Morris is now the head coach of LA. The other team in LA now has a new head coach. We have talked about this situation a lot. So, Jamie, I messaged you last night and said, make this one worth it. So make it worth it.
Yeah, so Jim Harbaugh, like he previously the head coach at Michigan, is now the head coach at the Chargers. This screams running to me. They're just going to run like 80% of the time. Well, not that much, but a lot more than they did last year. When Harbaugh was running the 49ers, they ranked top 10 in attempts. And I just think they're just going to run the ball. They have 3 running backs that I don't know which one is going to get the most workload. So in drafts, I'm taking the cheapest one. So between Edwards, Dobbins, and that rookie Vidal, I mean, they can split all 3 of them. They can give it to whoever the hot hand is. But I'm going with Vidal just because he's the cheapest one. You can get him pretty much free at the end of drafts.
All right. So, Reggie, I read your lips. Go for it.
Well, Vidal in Dynasty in like a 30-round league is going right now, sometimes in the 13th, 14th. He was going in the 16th and 17th, but he is getting skyrocketed up. I love that offense. I love Harbaugh coming back. I think we're going to get another iteration of the Baltimore Ravens. They got Greg Roman. They brought everybody over from the Ravens. I think that's what we're about to get. And I think, mark my words, mark your calendar. Ow. Justin Herbert is going to set career yards rushing. We're going to see Justin Herbert rush the ball.
Rushing, really?
His personal, whatever his highest season is, he's going to get some.
Well, I mean, they did just get the first-round tackle, Joe Alt. So, I mean, I could see a top 5 season in rushing this year from the whole team.
I mean, the one thing
I don't know what is his high.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right now. But while I look, the one thing I'll say, Jamie, is I think we all knew, and I'm not just like you're right. I think we all assumed that it was going to be a lot run heavy, like they were going to be a very run heavy team. Before the draft, the second that you hear the name Ja and not Malik out of the freaking commissioner's mouth, you knew that this was going to be an offensive tackle, and you knew that put the stamp on it that this was going to be that kind of a team and not a, you know what I mean? Not a passing team. It's going to be pure running. So in 2021, Justin Herbert ran for, take a guess what his career high is.
430.
320.
You guys are both too high. 302.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that just shows you that Reggie could be right. The one thing, okay, Reggie, you brought his name up, so I will bring it up real quick before I throw it to you for your next one. I can't trust Greg frickin' Roman. I'm sorry. He has burned me too many times in the past 4 or 5 years with Baltimore. However, when you give him a guy like frickin' Lamar Jackson, of course he's going to run the damn ball a lot more than he should. The one thing I will say about Greg Roman, and it's good for some of the new personnel that they have in, I'm going to say it, San Diego, just because Reggie, as a Californian, you understand that it's hard for me to say the LA Chargers. Lad McConkey. I mean, what do they got? They got Josh Palmer. They got Lad McConkey. They got Brendan Rice. Am I missing anyone, Jamie?
DJ Chark. Did he go there?
Yeah.
Or Zay Jones? One or the other.
No, DJ. Zay went to Arizona. So DJ is the one I was missing. None of those guys are huge downfield threats. But you know why that's okay? Because Greg Roman's offense is in a downfield. Lad McConkey is going to get hit with slant after slant after slant. He could turn into the next slant boy. That's going to be okay. They went and got Hayden Hurst at tight end. I do agree that this is going to be a lot slower tempo offense. They're going to be excruciating sometimes to watch. But guess what Jim Harbaugh cares the least about? Making it fancy. He could play in mud and he would not care. It just happened that he's playing in SoFi. So, Reggie, let's talk about your next one. Hold on. Okay, I know where Reggie's going. Hey, great segues again. Greg Roman used to be the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, a team from the great Northwest. Their new head coach is from the Baltimore Ravens, their ex-defensive coordinator. Why don't you talk about him and his offensive coordinator, Reg?
We're going to go ahead and talk about, we're on Ryan Grubb for the Seahawks, correct?
Yep.
And I think this can be something, the best of both worlds. I could not make my mind up whether this could be a positive or a negative because it's such a huge swing coming from the college ranks, staying close to home. I'm going to go with it's a positive, even though they have a new head coach, Mike McDonald, all the McDonalds, all the Mikes. Even though like two people coming together, one from the college ranks, and Pete Carroll leaving, that team needed a shot in the arm. That team needed a change. I think if the team buys into it, I think that if things can go well, if he's able to bring the kind of excitement and new vigor to Seattle in that offense, if they can grab onto it year one, is the biggest hurdle. They play one way for so long, and it's very predictable. It's not very exciting football. There's no beastquake happening.
JB, why don't you go? Because I have a feeling you know where I want to go, so go for it.
Yeah, no, I love this for the Seahawks. It's going to help JSN. It's going to help Metcalf. They're going to be passing more. Grubb, when he was with what? Who do you have as
Washington?
Michael Penix.
Michael
Yeah.
Penix. Yeah.
He helped Michael Penix set school records in passing yards. So Geno is going to be a good value. Just people aren't looking at Grubb as the head coach. They're just in that mindset of they're going to be a run team like they've always been. So it's going to change more to the passing, and I think it's underrated. People are missing it, and they're missing out on a bunch of good value.
Yeah.
Okay,
Jalen
so
Pope, Adunze, and McMillan all was very productive last year. And if he can bring that to the NFL, big if, we're going to be cooking with hot fish grease.
all right, so I've had 3 people in 2 different leagues, so 1 in one and 2 in another, within the last 48 hours. I don't know if there's an influx of freaking podcasts in our world or what the heck's going on talking about Seattle's offense. But I've had 3 people in the last 48 hours ask me, what's the price for JSN off of my team? Okay. He underperformed in 2023 compared to what we anticipated. There was a wrist injury. There was a little bit of a hammy at one point during the season. And then there was a thing called DK Metcalf and frickin' Tyler Lockett. There was a lot of people, including me, Jamie, and I don't remember if you were included in this, but you know that I was, that did not think that Tyler Lockett would be on this team post June 1st in 2024 because of the break that they would have got for cutting him post June 1st. He's still on the team. He will be on the team in 2024. I don't necessarily think he'll be there in 2025. I don't care. The reason I say I don't care is because of what Reggie was saying and what you reiterated. 3 offensive set or 3 wide receiver sets at the University of Washington. Playing with Penix. Yes, it's a totally different quarterback in Geno, but Geno is the veteran. Geno will be able to get into his playbook. We don't have to worry about that. You got a guy that's coming over from the head coach, Mike McDonald. He's coming over from Baltimore, defensive-minded coach. So is he going to want to run the ball a little bit? Absolutely. The issue is, I don't know if these guys are going to be ahead to run the ball. So there will be even more passing opportunities due to game scripts, which I do believe is going to be in the favor of all three. And another sneaky one, and a sneaky player just because of new systems and trying to get guys involved, Noah Fant. I think he's going to be in play this year, and that's just – I don't think – not saying he's going to be no top 10 tight end or anything like that, but he'll be a good streamer. He could be a good backup on your roster if you have the ability to put him like in redraft. If it's a deep bench, then you could grab him. For my next one, we have talked a decent amount about this team as of late. Jamie's loves it. Jamie brought him up when it came to Hunter Henry. I'm going to re-bring up the signing real quick. That was Ramondre Stevenson. Because if they did not get a new OC, so they get rid of Bill Belichick, they needed to get rid of Bill. Jamie was going to bring it up, so I'll bring it up real quick. They needed to get a new, fresh start. I don't know if Gerard Mayo was the perfect candidate, in my opinion, but we do know that Robert Kraft wants to keep it in the family, so I understand it. If you're going to hire someone like Gerard Mayo, the thing that you must do is get an experienced veteran coordinator that can hold up and do his part. They got Alex Van Pelt. Jamie, before I keep going, would you agree with that about the whole Bill Belichick part and bringing people in?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
Of course.
I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to give you your just due because I knew it was your original idea. The thing with Alex Van Pelt is he's a running – Jamie, you're a Cleveland Brown fan. That's where Alex Van Pelt came from. He is not a pass-first guy. Stefanski let him have the reins. He ran the ball with Kareem Hunt and Bradley Chubb before he got hurt. Now you got Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson. He liked to throw the ball to Kareem Hunt. Now he's getting Antonio Gibson to throw the ball. And don't freaking forget, Ramondre Stevenson can still catch the dang ball out of the backfield. He's not just a bruiser.
Yep.
The weapons aren't the best. Yeah, you got Pop Douglas. You got rookies in Polk and Javon Baker. Getting to the biggest piece of this offense. And I want you to do not change your background right now, Reggie. Do not change it. Because I know sometimes you change it. You can't change it right now.
It's on a timer.
Okay. Drake May has the physical ability to be a good quarterback. However, the reason I wrote an article saying Drake May should not be drafted before the Vikings' J.J. McCarthy is part of the reason is due to the fact that Alex Van Pelt is the OC. He is not going to put Drake May into position to have to fail as much as possible. He will give the ball to Ramondre more. He will ditch the ball a little bit to Gibson more. He'll throw the ball to Jamie's new love at tight end, Hunter Henry. So even though they do have weapons outside, they're young, they're unproven, besides Pop Douglas, who did it last year. That's why I think Alex Van Pelt is the perfect person for Drake May. That just doesn't – all I'm saying about Drake May is that doesn't mean he's going to have year one impact. Jamie, this is partially going to be your original topic. You're a Cleveland Browns fan, former OC, Alex Van Pelt. I'm giving you the floor.
Yeah, I mean, even last year with the Browns, he ran the ball almost 60% of the time. I think it was like 58, something around there. So I can see him running a lot more. Drake May can even use his legs a little bit, so he might get a little bit of that rushing floor. But yeah, they're just going to run the ball. They're going to rely on the running game because of all the new wide receivers they have. They can't rely on them. But yeah, I agree. Everything you said, man. Like pretty much everything you said, what I was going to bring up.
Perfect. Reggie, what do you think about this New England coaching change?
I think they they got a good structure in place. I like the fact that there's a good chance that may sit a little while and not get thrown out there. Um,
So
getting
who's gonna start then?
Brissett.
No,
Yeah, I
no!
set you up for that one.
He's got to.
Wait, did I say the wrong thing?
No.
All right, keep going with your take.
Well, I think it's in the best interest of Drake May is not to go out there, sit back for just a little bit, and learn. I don't think any of these quarterbacks, other than Caleb, should be forced to start day one. We have seen disaster happen over and over again, and it has not always been the quarterback's issue, in my opinion. But yeah, I think good things for Drake May, especially if he does not start day one.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so Jamie, hold on, I can't remember. Let me get it up. All right, so new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new quarterback. Washington Commanders, why?
Yeah, so they got their head coach Dan Quinn, the offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury. Dan Quinn, I mean, he helped run one of the best defenses last year in the Cowboys. But we're not here to talk about defense. We're to talk about offense. And there was a quote that I looked up, and Kingsbury hinted at what the offense is going to look like. He said, "We want to be balanced. We want to be able to run the football." Do the play action and do whatever it takes to win. So I think that play action right there, that's the key word. That's going to help the new quarterback, Jaden Daniels. It'll probably help get McLaurin open more. And I just can't wait to see what this is going to look like with Daniels running the RPO in the shotgun. And I think it'll open things up for the receivers because people are going to expect the run. And they're not going to pass as much as they did last year. I think they were close to like 60, 70% last year. Can you look that up?
What is it?
Their pass rate last year, it was like 60, almost 70%, I believe.
I got it.
Yeah. I do not think they're going to pass that much. It's going to be more of a balance, like Kingsbury said. But I do think they're still going to be passing more than they are going to run. So, yeah, my McLaurin take still stands. I still think he's going to be a top 12 guy.
All right, so they were highest in the league. They were number one in the league at 63.9%.
Okay, yep.
But I mean that's 2.3% higher than number 2 and number 3. And to reiterate my point while I'm looking at that, it's not a coincidence that number 2 and number 3 are both head coaches from the Sean McVay tree. Just saying. Look out for Atlanta again. Just saying. Okay, Reggie, what do you think about Dan Quinn and Cliff? I can't head coach a Call of Duty player, Kingsbury.
I think the Commanders are going to be able to turn things around. Hopefully, their offensive line can hold up. The RPO will cut the field in half for Jaden Daniels, and he can use that to like suck the defense in, hold the defense, and keep them respectable. I don't know if they're going to try to roll out Marcus Mariota to give them some cushion or a runway. Only training camp in the preseason will tell us that. But I think this organization is going to have some good times with this young quarterback. If that offensive line does not get him, I think Sam Howell was like the most sacked or pressured quarterback in the league last year. Most pressure. Yeah, like that's not going to be a recipe for success, even for Jaden Daniels, if that continues.
So I don't have much to add about this one. Not on a negative. It's just you guys have pretty much said everything that I've already thought. Jamie, you know what I feel about the quarterback situation in Washington. It should be Sam Howell, but since it's not Sam Howell, Jaden Daniels has to be put in a situation to succeed. Otherwise, it's the coach's fault and no one else, because this is a new regime. So they brought this coaching regime in to. I mean, that's one reason I think they got rid of Howell. New coaching team, new coaching, new ownership, new coaching, new QB, new regime in general. That's one of the reasons Eric Bieniemy is not the head coach, because we all thought he was going to be. So I don't have much more to say about that. So, Reggie, there's another team with a brand new OC down in South Florida. Why don't you talk a little bit about Tampa Bay's new OC?
Oh, the Buccaneers. Coaching change is the offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen. He comes over. He formerly was calling plays at Kentucky for Will Levis. I don't know much about him, but they had success last year and lost their OC. This is the replacement for him. I think that they got potential Hall of Famer at wide receiver in Mike Evans. And if they can be more efficient in the running game, which it was productive but not efficient, I think they can make it back to the playoffs. They're not going to sneak up on anybody anymore. People may be able to prepare better for them. So hopefully they can make it back to the playoffs, because I enjoy watching them there.
All right, Jamie, speaking of the running game, is this Rashad or is this Rashad plus Bucky?
I think it's going to be both. Last year they were bottom of the league in yards per carry and rushing. Rashad he thrived in the passing game. I think he's still going to, but yeah, they're probably going to do more of a split, I think, this year. People are drafting Rashad White, I think, a little too high if they do some sort of a split.
Yeah,
so,
in best ball, they are drafting Rashad White too high.
Yeah, like last year, I don't know if you remember, I was all in on Rashad. I was like, oh, he's going to be a top 12 running back. Grab him at his ADP. This year, he is a top 12 running back, and I am out on his ADP. So I don't hate the player. I hate their ADP.
Yeah. So last year, he was the least effective running back in the run game. However, he was the most effective running back in the passing game, which allowed him to be the top 12 running back that you were discussing. I'm out. On ADP, on projection, I am out. I do love Bucky Irving. I just think that this year is going to be like he's going to have to wait a year before he's going to be productive. What I'm concerned about, and then I'll let you take it over again, Reggie. What I'm concerned about is with the new coordinator, and we're not sure what's going to happen, Chris Godwin. Because Chris Godwin has started to fall off, and I just have a feeling that he's going to be one of those wide receivers. Like you brought up that you got Mike Evans. He's had 1,000 yards and how many, 10 seasons, whatever, in a row. I think that can continue with Baker because Baker likes to fling it. Baker likes to do the fancy and get out of the pocket and run around for 15 seconds, look up, throw it to the skies, and just have a guy land because freaking Mike Evans is a freaking beast. I just have a feeling that Godwin is going to be one of those players that's going to fall off quickly. He's not going to have the gradual decline like an Evans could later in his career or other wide receivers have. I think he's just going to face plant. And I hate to say that because I have him on a few teams. Reggie, continue.
Well, I was going to say about like there may be some sunshine on the way because we've been talking about these coaching bushes. We got Bush, these coaching trees, and Cohen comes from the McVay coaching tree.
Yep.
So he's going to bring over some motion, some zone running. He should change how they in run heavy situations, they would find themselves passing a lot last year. So bringing on some new blood to put more people in motion. I heard the other day that Chris Godwin is going to play more in the slot when I assumed he already played in the slot. So I need to check up those snap percentages. But if they're going to change some things up and use some things from the Rams offense here with Baker, who once played for the Rams, we may see something different.
Very well. And man, LA is a segue of the night.
Right?
So my next topic, Kellen Moore, who was the OC in LA for the Chargers. He didn't do great, but I don't blame him completely. That whole Jamie, how many times last year did I say that Staley should have been fired way before he was? I wanted that guy gone a long time ago. Kellen Moore was his OC, but before that, he was also the OC for the Dallas Cowboys. So now Kellen Moore is an OC again for the Philadelphia Eagles. Don't forget they lost Travis. Bleh. They lost Jason Kelsey. They fired their OC Brian Johnson after only 1 year. If you watched the Eagles games last year at the beginning of the year, it did not look like Brian Johnson was comfortable on the sideline whatsoever. And that kind of shocked me because the fact that you thought they were going to be okay. So here's one key stat that I think he is going to change hardcore. I've heard this stat twice in talking about different things when it comes to the Eagles. I couldn't believe this stat when I heard it. The Chargers used motion on 25% of their plays last year. That was 8th in the league, okay? The Eagles were dead last at 10.9% motion. With the offensive weapons that they had, and that's even using Goddard motioning to one side to the other or from, tight to wide or wide to tight or back into the backfield or however you use motion. And you had DeAndre Swift, which we both know how I felt about him, Jamie. You had DeAndre Swift. I know, not saying he's great, but you had Gainwell, you had Bart Scott, and then you got the weapons outside. 10%? That ain't going to be 10%. That's not going to be 10% this year. I'm sorry. That's not going to happen. They're gonna use motion more. Jamie, you know how I feel about Saquon Barkley joining this team. I think he is going to be a godsend for this team.
Nope.
They're not going to use the tush push as quite often. They're not going to need to. I still think they will, but I don't think they need to. A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith combined last year for a 48% target share between the two of those wide receivers. I do think that's going to go down a little bit. I do think they're going to use the running backs out of the passing game. Barkley's going to catch some balls. They're going to use Goddard again, and I say again because they started to get away from him last year, which I did not like. Jamie, what do you think about Kellen Moore now becoming the OC and what this does for the Philadelphia Eagles as an offense?
Yeah, no, I like it. That stat you brought up about the motion, that's crazy. I didn't hear about that. But I did notice one thing that the Eagles are trying to do. They're trying to get away from that big-bodied slot guy, and they're bringing in a bunch of speedy, fast guys. They brought in what's his name, Paris Campbell. They drafted, I think his name's Adonis Smith. So they're going back to those speedy down the field type slot guys. They didn't really even use a slot last year, but it looks like they're trying to make that a new look. And I like the value of Devonta Smith in drafts, man, because I think he can do like 80, 90% of what A.J. Brown did last year, and you're getting him rounds later. Instead of getting A.J. Brown in round 1, you can get Smith in round 4, something like that.
Yeah, I've been getting him in 4 and 5.
Yeah, and then Will Shipley, you mentioned that they're going to pass to the running backs more. Like Gainwell is an amazing pass catching running back, and they brought in Shipley. He is good at pass catching, so I could see him using them more. And Barkley can catch.
Yeah,
so
and that's what I like, and I think they could use him. I think they're actually going to use Barkley as their red zone target.
Yeah, same here. They're either going to run it in with Barkley or let Hurts use his legs. But the tush push, man, I don't think they'll do it as much. They'll just take the ball and run it up the middle with Barkley. He's got the thighs to do it.
Yeah. So Reggie, do you agree about Quadzilla, or is the tush push still in season?
I think Quadzilla is going to eat. I think the Barkley edition is going to be better for football than it is fantasy. It's going to make their team extremely powerful, but I don't think we're going to get vintage early career Barkley. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be slightly better than last year, but they got some. I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to be more acceptable, more tempted to check the ball any more than he does already. I know that when he does, he'll be efficient. It just won't be a lot of volume for a lot of catches out the backfield, in my opinion. And AJ Brown, yeah, they have a very tunneled target concentration, like you said. So all the big names are going to be fine for fantasy. I just don't think it's Saquon Barkley to the moon. And I'm not a big fan of Kellen Moore. He was at Dallas, then he went to LA, and I know injuries was the problem in LA, but I don't like Kellen Moore there. I like the team, I like the offense. I think they're going to be great, but we can only wait and see. It's previous
Jamie,
feelings. Previous feelings.
Yeah. Jamie, what do you personally think about Goddard this year?
I haven't been drafting him, honestly, but I do think he is a value. I've seen him go outside the top 10 tight ends. It's just at that time of the draft, I already either have my tight end or I feel I can just wait a few more rounds and just maybe get Freiermuth.
Jamie, I have a question for you. And you didn't say Johnny Wilson. Was that on purpose?
I'm not a Johnny Wilson fan.
It was on purpose, and I agree.
He's that in-between tight end receiver type guy, and he needs to make up his mind, either lose some weight or gain some weight and pick one. But yeah, no, I'm out on Johnny Wilson. People are like asking me, "Oh, should I pick him up on my waivers?" It's like, don't even bother.
All right, so Jamie, I'm gonna put it up. Will you read it for me out loud?
Oh yeah, so Jaden Daniels has the same pressure to sack ratio issue as Sam Howell. Did they fix the old line? I believe they did.
So
I know they brought in some people.
So right now, they did bring in a couple of people there. Drew Wiley, Sam Cosme, Tyler Biazzi, Allegretti, and Braden Daniels as their offensive line. I do think it's still a work. I don't think it's done this offseason, obviously, but I do think it's still a work in progress. I just think overall, Jaden's going to be able to get out of more pressures than Sam would.
And I'm pretty sure they drafted offensive lineman
Later in the
late
draft,
second,
yeah.
third.
I think it was a third.
Yeah, it was either early third or late second. I can't remember.
I got the to work this week. Reggie, we will discuss what you messaged me about later because I didn't know if I was going to get the QR to work this time. So, Jamie, you were about to do your job.
Alrighty. Right there, buddy.
Today's show is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Check out their industry-leading best ball leagues with huge tournaments, private leagues, and pick'ems for every major sport. Sign up with our promo code GF2 and get a deposit match up to $100. It's as simple as that. Sign up, use promo code GF2, and you can start drafting your best ball teams now. I'm going to have Reggie come back up. There's something I want to bring up about Underdog real quick. I know, Jamie, you won't mind me bringing this up. Go ahead, use your go get your promo. And then some of that money with your deposit match. Right now, I forget how many people or what the max entry is 150. I don't remember how many people. Scott Fishbowl is about to go to Scott Fishbowl starts in a couple weeks. SFB Satellite, which ran by Underdog the last couple of years, came out a couple of days ago. $5 entry, no prize pool if you make it to the end. But here's the big deal. The top 500. So if you make it to week 17, automatic entry into Scott Fishbowl 15. So it is their goal is to raise $1,000 with this promo. Kyle, what is going on?
Oh, Kyle.
But the biggest thing is raising money for the kids, like always, through Fantasy Cares. All the money from the Underdog satellites are going to Fantasy Cares. I am in 2 slow drafts right now for this. My first pick was I had the 11. I started one last night. I ended up taking, don't normally do this. I took Puka at 111 when I came back with Gibbs, and now I will stack my wide receivers when they come back. But just want to say, go sign up for those while it's still open. Top 500 SFB 15 automatic invite. That is a big one. Last year it was less because they had to they got Underdog to up the what am I trying to say? The amount of entries because last year closed so fast. All right. So I have Jamie's brain on full tilt mode because it is at 57 minutes. It is time for the cheat of the week, which I have replaced with the game that Jamie is overthinking and he doesn't even know what the game is. It's math test, Jamie. No. All right. So when I asked Jamie what he wanted to do for the show tonight, because his brain does not, even if this guy is in best ball, his brain does not get away from Dynasty, even during redraft season, and it drives me nuts. So to get this guy to calm down, I came up with a compromise in my own head, and he doesn't even know it. We are doing keep, trade, cut Dynasty version. So I'll give you 3 players. You keep, trade, cut. So not just technically, like, not necessarily, oh, I like this guy more, but like, think about it real. I mean, I'm not going to give you too much time to think, but if you think you can get value for one player, you might want to trade that guy and keep the guy that's lower value because you can get better value. All these guys are close to, are back to back to back in going for 2 dynasty rankings. I went to Jeff. I'm using their rank. I'm using the GF2 rankings back to back to back in positional, not overall. I have a list of them. I'm just going to do one per person, so not both of you. Like, I'm going to do one for Jamie, one for Reggie, one for Jamie, one for Reggie. Jamie, are you ready for your first one?
I think so. Give it to me.
All right, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Give me a number between 1 and 12.
7.
All right, and I am not going to list the players in their order on going for 2. I am going to mix it up just so it's not super, super, super obvious. There is a theme with all 3 of I'm giving you 3 guys, so there's a theme with everyone except one. I put a rookie and a veteran in each one of these, so they're all close. So that's why some of them sound a little weird, is because I made sure that there was a rookie and a veteran involved in each one to make it interesting.
All right.
I wanted to say that so when I list some of these, there's only one. I'll give you the one when someone picks it that's not. So you said 7, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. You are getting quarterbacks, Jamie.
All right.
They are in the range of a QB2 in Superflex. They're in that range, so I'll give you that. The 3 guys are Drake May, Bryce Young, and Jared Goff.
Oh, geez. Dynasty. So Drake May, Bryce Young, Jared Goff. Keep, trade, cut. Geez, I'm gonna have to. Man, you've made this hard.
I know.
I'm gonna cut Young, just because I know his value can rise, but I'm not gonna go off the can rise. Geez, I'm gonna keep Goff because he could have a top 5 season. I want to win now, and yeah, I'm trading Drake May just because I think he has the most value right now. People are spending like a top 5 pick in Dynasty rookie draft. So I'm trading May, keeping Goff, and cutting Young.
Alrighty. Let me mark
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry, Kyle. I think you can get more value out of May right now because I believe Young is like an end of the first round value, where May is going in the like middle of rookie drafts.
I'll just say I agree with Kyle, but that's also because I do think that Bryce Young's going to have a bounce back year.
Oh, I do too. Trust me.
I know. Reggie, 1 through 12.
6.
All right. I know it's a different position. All right. This one's tricky because there's 2 players from the same team. Roma Dunze, Zay Flowers, and DJ Moore.
Oh man. You're making this tough, Mike.
Superflex, Dynasty.
PPR, yeah. Dynasty, yeah. That's why I said the trade value is different when you're thinking Dynasty than.
So Zay Flowers and Dunze and DJ Moore. Okay, I am going to.
That's hilarious, Kyle.
It's Kyle. I mean, I don't expect anything less.
I can't believe I'm going to say this. Oh,
I know what I would do, and I hate saying it.
right. There's no winning here.
No,
It's a
there's
tough
not.
one.
There's no winning.
Oh goodness. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I am going to trade Zay Flowers because I'll probably get the most for him. And that's debatable.
Yep.
I am going to keep. Oh, I can't believe this. Ramaduze and cut DJ Moore.
That's exactly what I would do.
I mean, I know
that hurt.
I knew that's what Jamie would do.
Oh, that hurt.
It
That was
does.
painful.
Jamie, pick again.
What, a number 1 to 12?
Yeah, just somewhere. Yeah, just give me a number and I'll.
3.
All right. This is the only one that does not have a rookie. It is a running back situation. A second year guy and 2 guys that are not second year. And one is a big vet. And I think I'm going to mess with your head right now.
Oh, geez.
Because I am going to give you these 3 the exact way they're in the order as well. Spears, Tajay Spears, Zamir White, Derek frickin' Henry.
Oh, geez. I think I'm going to have to trade White just because of the value. People are overvaluing him. And I don't think he, like a year or 2 from now, will keep that value.
Yep.
I'm going to cut Spears and keep Henry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would do the same thing purely because of it's the perceived value of Zamir White in that backfield right now.
Yep.
It's the perceived value. All right. So there's that one.
But you would get the same if you traded all of them, though, right? Aren't they about all the same value?
I think you're gonna. I don't know with Pollard showing up. I don't think Spears is the same value anymore.
Got you.
I do agree with you with. I more agree with you with Zamir and Derek, but not with Spears.
I think I trade Derek. I cut Samir. I keep Spears, but that's a weird one too. That's a tough one, Jamie.
Yep.
All right, so this one I'm just going to give to you, Reggie. I'm not even going to make you pick a number. We talked about one of these guys on the show tonight. This is a little bit lower, but they're back to back to back, and it has a rookie in it. Like I said, all these have a rookie, and it is a GF2 famous rookie, Jamie. Not a Jamie famous rookie, a GF2 famous rookie. The rank, so I'm not going to give you an order, but here are the three: Christian Watson, Chris Godwin, and Keon Coleman.
Ooh.
You knew what rookie I was picking. I picked that guy on purpose.
So Coleman, Godwin, Watson.
Yep.
I am trading Watson, trading Watson, cutting Coleman, keeping Godwin.
All right. Keeping Godwin. I mean, I don't think you're going to get the value for Godwin. So I think you either have, if you're not going to keep him, he can't. What I'm saying is he can't be your freaking trade. Like Godwin's got to either be your cut or your keep.
I think he's going to have a good year. I think that he played good towards the end of last year, and he's fully healthy now. I think Godwin's, and he's only 27.
He's going to play a lot more slot snaps this year too.
Yeah, but I thought I was already in the slot, but I heard that too. Isn't he 27? It's not over for Godwin.
28, I think.
Ah, darn.
But I mean, but for a while, I think it's
okay. Right.
All right, you guys want to do one more round?
Yeah, let's do one more. Why not?
One more round. All right, Jamie, give me a number.
12.
Pick another number.
11.
All right, you want 11? All right, you're gonna regret this one.
Oh, jeez.
You're gonna regret it. Okay, all right, you ready?
Let's do it. I want to regret.
This is wide receivers. This is wide receivers even deeper than the one I just gave.
Oh no.
Jamison Williams, Jermaine Burton is your rookie, and your veteran is Jerry Jeudy.
Okay, I'll trade Jeudy. I'm gonna keep Jamison Williams and then cut Burton.
I don't like you right now. You know I love Burton, so
yeah,
I know. Yeah, so I got Burton. So Jamie, that rookie draft I just finished, that I told you that I picked JJ instead of Xavier Worthy.
Yeah,
I ended up getting Xavier Worthy at 205, and I got JJ, Xavier Worthy. And the
so you didn't make the trade; you just kept it.
No, I made a trade for one of the picks. Got Burton in the third, got Ray Davis at 401, and Cowing in the end of the fifth. Wow. And turned a second and a third because I had 2 seconds and 2/3. I turned a second and a third with another, and I combined a couple things, but I ended up with an extra third in 2025 and an extra first in 2025.
Nice. So it looks like you played his bluff because you were going to trade for the 204 to take Worthy.
Yeah, I played his bluff, and he took Michael Penix.
I kind of had a feeling. So good call on that.
All right.
How many teams?
12, man.
Wow.
There's some IDP, so that's why it's a 5-round rookie draft. But
okay, 205 is wild. It says Kyle.
Oh no, yeah, and that was with no IDP taken ahead of him. Jalen Wright was taken at 202. Corum was taken at 203. Penix was taken at 204. 201, I can't remember. Ladd was at 201.
Nice.
Okay. Let's do.
Where did Coleman go? Wait. Where did Coleman go?
I'll pull it up and look.
Oh, no worries. We can talk later.
Would you like running? What position would you like?
Let's go running back.
All right. Here's the last running back. Mid-tier running backs. Devin Singletary, Zach Charbonnet, and Jalen Wright.
Ooh.
Cut Devin Singletary. Trade Jalen Wright. Keep the last one. Zach Charbonnet. Yes. Zach Charbonnet.
Right. So,
That's bias.
Yeah.
That's bias.
So, Jamie, I'm going to give you one bonus one, and then we'll get off because I'm just curious, I'm just curious on what you think about this one because I know how you like Pittsburgh right now.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Devontae Adams, George Pickens, and Xavier Worthy are back to back to back.
Okay, say that again.
Devontae Adams, George Pickens,
and
Xavier Worthy.
I'm definitely keeping Pickens.
I knew that was happening.
Yeah, I'm gonna trade Worthy and cut Adams for Dynasty.
I knew you were gonna keep. I didn't know which one you were gonna keep or cut, but I knew which one you were keeping. That's why I picked that one at the end. All right, okay. So Kyle.
Yeah, what does this say?
Oops, that was my bad. I'll put it back up. After you just said Jalen Wright went 202 ahead of Worthy, I think definitely trade Wright. Keep Singletary as the lead back. Cut Charbonnet, buried behind Ken Walker. Not disagreeing. But yeah. Let me pull that up real quick and then we will get the heck out of here.
I have one for Mike. You ready for this?
No, I'm not because I don't trust
these are back to back to back in my rankings.
Well, in your rankings, that's like 8, 15, and 35 in freaking AGP.
No. Here we go. Brandon Ayuk, Devonta Smith, and Michael Pittman.
I'm not ignoring you.
That's Ayuk, Devonta Smith, and Pittman. Keep, trade, cut. God damn. I don't even know what I would do in this situation. That's why I kind of want.
I'm trading Ayuk because people are thinking because of everything going on that you can keep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with Kyle.
Yeah,
I'm keeping Pittman and I'm cutting Devonta, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
All right, so this draft went. I'm just gonna read it off. Superflex. Here we go. I'm gonna go till about 207, 208. Marvin Harrison, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Malik Neighbors, Roma Dunze. This is no tight end premium, but it's PPR. Brock Bowers, Jonathan Brooks, JJ McCarthy. Oh, I was wrong. Lad McConkey went 110. Trey Benson 111. Brian Thomas 112. Bo Nix 201. Jalen Wright, Blake Corum, Michael Penix, Xavier Worthy was me. Then the pick that I traded, Ricky Pearsall, Ben Sinnott, Keon Coleman,
wow,
Mitchell, Xavier Leggett, Jalen Polk, and one of the shocks to me was Malachi Corley at 212. I thought there was other people that could have been taken ahead of him.
So my last draft, I got Corley. He fell to the 405. And I was sending offers to him. I traded my 411 and my 2024 fourth, and I got Corley.
Luke McCaffrey went 301.
Wow.
That was a great value on Coleman. Like,
yeah. Oh, no, it was good value on Coleman. I just had to take Worthy at 205.
Yeah. No, Worthy, I have ahead of Coleman. But Coleman, like, I consider him at like the 204, 205-ish.
Yeah. Early after the draft, I seen him go, I want to say 109. If I can't screenshot it, it didn't happen, but it was something crazy. That's what made me, when you said that, when did that draft take place?
It just finished yesterday.
Wow.
But still, even then, for Worthy to go 205, JJ to slide to 109, I was like, I thought he was going to go at 108, and I was willing to take Worthy or someone at 109 and didn't. And then when I saw Corum and Wright go at 202, I'm like, whoa, I'm only one pick away. There's no way this is going to happen. And then like there was this whole, Jamie knows the sitch. There was this whole trade. My buddy knows me. He was trying to get, he was he was pulling at all my Chief strings, trying to get me to move up to 204. And then that didn't, like, I was playing his bluff, and then I got him to offer me something, blah, blah, blah. And then he ended up giving me the 20. He ended up giving me a first next year in part of the trade that gave him 205. So he picked 204. He got Penix, got the 206, not 205, got the 206 to take Pearsall because I had 205, 206. So I gave him 206 in return. I got there's other stuff in the trade, obviously.
But you got a future first out of
But I got a future first out of trading away 206. And then I traded 30. Then I traded away a pick that I traded around, not the pick, obviously, but one of the picks that I traded away in conjunction with to get the first, I got back when I traded back from 306 to 401 with a different owner. So when I traded back, I made sure that I got the round that I displaced. All right, so it's been a great show. We are right at the hour and a quarter mark. I know it's getting late for Jamie. It's almost 11 o'clock for him. It's nice and sunny still. Well, not nice and sunny, but the sun's starting to go down here on the West Coast. Let's throw it around the horn real quick, and we'll get the heck out of here. Reggie, start it off, my dude.
Well, thanks for having me. It was fun. Looking at the numbers, other than listening, digesting them through audio, made me realize a lot. So this was informative to me. I appreciate y'all. We do currently have a fundraiser going. Saturday, we was able to, on Twitch, we were able to raise over $1,700 for ALZ, which is the Alzheimer's Association, and I'm excited about that. We're going to be doing a lot more of that moving forward. I hope everybody have a good one. You guys can find me at the Network One. Is somewhere here in the video or on Twitch, everywhere. IG. Appreciate everyone.
Jamie.
Yeah, find me on the Twitter X at Jamie Perogue. Here I Going for Two on the cheat sheet whenever we do every other Tuesday. And then check out my articles over at Fantasy Six Pack. I'm doing right now the IDP NFC breakdowns. My North is already out. My East should be coming out maybe tomorrow. So check that out.
All right. So before I give my, I'll put it up, Jamie. Before I give my, is that?
I don't know what that was.
No,
There's a question.
No, I got it. So before my outro, even though he is unfortunately a Las Vegas Raiders fan, our buddy at GF2, the DF master himself, my homie from Utah, Gerson needs our help. So maybe you guys can help me. 24 teams start 8, 1 QB Superflex. 24 teams. 2.0 tight end premium. I did a progressive struggle. Here are the relevant players: Mahomes and Levis. Running back is Gibbs, Najee, Derrick Henry. Wide receivers: J. Jeff, MHJ, Neighbors, Odunze, QJ, if you call him relevant. Tight end: Musgrave, Bowers. Would you trade Bowers, Henry, and Johnston for Jonathan Brooks and Drake London?
No. No way. I like Bowers ahead of Brooks.
I like how trade QJ, but I wouldn't be trading Bowers.
Yeah, and I know he'd be getting London, but I mean his receivers are already pretty stellar. I know there are a lot of young bloods, but they got all the talent in the world.
Because the thing is, it's to start 8 because it's 24 teams.
Yeah.
So it's literally, 1, 2, 3, 1, and a flex. I mean, this is definitely. I think you're okay.
Yeah, because if you trade away Henry, you're starting? Who's his Musgrave?
He'd be starting. No, if you got rid of Derrick Henry, he'd be starting. Right now, his running backs are Gibbs, Najee, and Derrick.
So he would be relying on Najee and Gibbs.
He would be right now. He's relying on Jefferson, MHJ, and Neighbors. so that stays the same. Yeah, I think you're okay.
Yeah, that's a pretty dang good team for a 24-team league, man.
I thought 16 was bad. Holy cow.
I mean, I'm in a 32-team league.
Yeah. So you guys can find me on the Twitter, or no, they got rid of Twitter, huh? No, on the X. I dropped a Mike FF. You know where to find me on Tuesday nights. You know where to find my writing over at Dynasty Nerds when I'm about to start another article. Other than that, for Reggie, for Jamie, I'm Mike. Have a nice night, everyone, and